What's up, y'all? I have become the bread and butter of a lot of people's dopamine kicks and their actual income. A guy named Jeff keeps emailing me basically everything that y'all are up to. You see all those J's? Yeah, those are all the Jeffs. So I guess let's start from the beginning.
How about no? Considering the fact that to try to create substance for a video, you decide to make fake messages time and time again to make it seem like, oh, you're having a conversation with somebody. By the way, I might be overthinking it about it a little bit, but Jay, perhaps that actually is James, as in the name that he wants everybody to call him, which, again, nobody's going to call him by that name.
His first email says, a list of women coming out against you on Twitter, their handles. And in that list, I see people I either never dated or I kicked out of my life.
Okay, first of all, I'm pretty sure that Sarah, Billy, Sky, and Shiloh are not handles. Or at least, fake accounts or whatever. And by kick out of your life, do you mean they left you because they wanted to get away from an abusive asshole?
So I'm really confused. Like, just a bunch of people who are off. Why do I care? Y'all ever have like a nutso in-law? Well, I apparently have an ex-in-law who's just going all over Twitter losing her mind. We're talking about someone of like 9 years ago. What the Something my ex-in-law said is that there's allegedly a collection of photos of her, an adult woman, on my computer when she's actually a star. And the photos are online, not on my computer. You can't make this up. That's just one of the many things people tried to pin on me that's just irrelevant and not even a thing. I think somebody told me something about making fun of her. That was my ex-Canadian girlfriend. She made fun of it. If anything, I may have passed it on. I don't know. Just want you guys to know, if you're misshapen or something, you're still just as good. It's just, it builds character.
What an asshole!
What's the real point in trying to mention this? I mean, you keep saying, oh, they're losing their mind. Why though? I mean, that's the biggest thing with your videos is you are so fucking vague and hard to interpret sometimes because you can't give an actual answer to the situations that you're in or involved with other people. Why are people upset with you? Answer the fucking question.
Then they say Billy the Fridge spoke out against me. There's a number of people I can't talk about due to legal reason.
Forgive me for using this clip from Final Fantasy X of Titus laughing. Yeah, quick apology. I know that some people hate Final Fantasy X, especially for, in the case of Titus. So, I do apologize to subjecting some people to that particular clip. Anyway, back to my response.
And I have arrangements with people like that to hopefully maintain friendships and not go out and destroy those friendships by talking about the other people. I notice like almost every celebrity does that, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense to have every person that you come into contact with be in a contract with you, so they don't talk poorly about your actions. Yeah, no, that's really fucking dumb. If you are doing something stupid, then you should be called out for it. Not use some kind of legal way to get people to shut up. You're fucking pathetic.
Unfortunately, some people don't respect those agreements, and it's weird because if they don't respect the legal agreements, where they publicly acknowledge something was signed, how can you respect anything they say? Something that they admit to having agreed to, which, if you've ever seen Judge Judy, all you have to do is admit it happened and then it becomes valid. Like, have you ever heard of a verbal contract? If you admit to making even a verbal contract, you could be held accountable in court.
But that's depending on whether or not that, let's say, for instance, you have it recorded that they made that sort of verbal contract with you. I mean, at that point, if you take it to court, it's a he said, she said situation. And ultimately, you just saying, oh, it's a verbal contract, could be taken down or dismissed immediately. Especially if the other individual has evidence to the contrary.
It says Edwin is talking about my ex-spouse and plans to make a video about Kai. Yeah, it's a shame that so many people are going after Kai, and it kind of shows, certain people never cared about Kai to do such a malicious and horrible thing to such an awesome person.
serious?
Yeah, what a nice person. Somebody who, just sat idly by as you were mistreating people on the internet, as well as took part in your actions to groom people. I'm sorry, but Kai is just as guilty as you are at this point for sitting idly by and doing jack shit.
Like, that's why Kai's kind of done with y'all. Y'all are insane. Absolutely insane. To, like, pretend someone is, like, your BFF for years and then to totally just do the worst things to them. Kai can't trust anybody anymore because, everyone just seems like another person who's going to say, oh, I would never try to hurt you. I would never try to ruin your life. I would never try. Like, we hear this all the time. It's like I said, if the things that people said about Kai were true, then he would be in jail. It's so easy. Just walk into the police station. You have, something that's open and closed, obvious, right? Allegedly. So, and I feel like, Kai's been proven innocent.
Okay, asshat. You want to prove that we are in the wrong? Then tell us why we're in the wrong. Tell us why we should, be, or at least have a different point of view of Kai and you. Instead of trying to play the shame game, using, oh, she has hurt feelings. I'm sorry, they have hurt feelings, so you guys should be ashamed. Isn't gonna work. It isn't gonna work. And I think the only reason you're doing it because you're in deep shit. Because recently, people like Chris Hansen are now getting involved. People who've worked with the cops. So, at this point, it's only a matter of time till you're called out completely on the crap that you've done.
Yet nobody cares. And the proof of innocence is the fact that you have someone who open and close said a horrible crime occurred and said that they actually went to court. Their friend said they went to court, and yet Kai remains a free person after they actually went to court. And what's kind of frustrating is that, like, literally Kai is the center of this controversy, and yet my name is brought up more than anyone because my name gets people attention. Like, this is the hugest clout seeking campaign I've ever seen in my life. Like, if I was, making video after video, or if I was making tweet after tweet about any specific ex, you guys would be calling me a psychopath. You would be saying I was a stalker. It would be over. Like, one person was dumped for lying and doing illegal drugs.
I'm sorry, but is this really coming from the guy that shames people in order for them to stay into the relationship? Like telling people to shave their head or be chained up in a basement for a week? I'm sorry, but I mean, if they lied once or twice and smoked pot, I'm pretty sure that is far less worse than what you were doing to people.
Another person was broken up with for literally taking money from me to survive in Canada while actively sleeping with another person that I didn't know about, and they got pregnant with that person's baby. Okay, so I was like funding their livelihood, and they're actively, like, that's another reason I dumped somebody.
Wait. As I recall, didn't you give that to her freely? So she didn't steal it from you? And again, without, any contract, she didn't have to owe you back for said money. I'll say with the whole money issue, that's your own damn fault for giving her money. And when it comes to the whole Canada thing, if she's broken up with you, what does it matter at this point? Are you really that butthurt?
There's a legal agreement with someone that I can't talk about why I dumped them. That's why I haven't talked about a lot of things. It's because I actually respect legal agreements in that regard. So I can't talk about that other reason, but I also, there's other reasons. And that's what's interesting is nobody respects or, sees the fact that I actually obey the law. Like, you got a list of people who, take part in doing illegal drugs, committing crimes in general, like fraud, and they do all these things, and yet they wind up being the heroes, which is a mind-boggling thing to me. And then another headline saying my ex-sister-in-law maintains that I still have these pics. I don't have those. I don't know where you got that idea but literally if you just Google suicide girl, or everybody has it. If you pose, like if someone pays you to pose for photos as an adult and you release those photos, the entire internet's gonna have them, okay? So you need to stop being like, oh, so-and-so has these photos because the entire internet has those photos, not me. And again, I that's what she's complaining about. Like, and this is what's crazy, is like people will say, oh, all these girls have the same story, yet you have my ex-sister-in-law who says there's photos from her shoot, and that's her big complaint, that I have photos from her shoot, which I don't have. They're online, not on my computer. And you're an adult who voluntarily posed in those photos. It's so confusing.
So since you want to bitch and moan about, you know, people's concern about you having pictures of them, why don't we go ahead and talk about the forum that you shut down recently? You know, your personal forum that your fans can go to and submit, you know, pictures, video ideas, etc. I'm sorry, but why'd you shut that down? Unless, of course, you were trying to hide something. Unless, of course, you know that there was something on there that you're not supposed to have. So, the bigger question is, would you be willing to, you know, show everyone your forum? So that way, if you're completely innocent, you just show us the forum. So that way you show how innocent you really are. And in just in case you guys knew that his answer was no, here's a clip to kind of, you know, a representation of his reaction to somebody telling him to see the forum, as well as see the pictures that he's collected. Okay, so I'm going to give my final thoughts because there's no reason to really continue the rest of this video. He's just going on and on, still trying to shame other people, still trying to put the blame on somebody else, not really look into what's going on, what's being said, why it's being said. So, what's the real point in trying to continue with this particular video? At least that's my understanding right now. So, and I will say this too. If he keeps this up, it's going to get, I would assume, it's going to get a lot worse for him and his spouse if they can't just come clean. Alright, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Truly appreciate it. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. This is Rob of Novakast signing off. Have a good one, and take care. Peace.